Hi everyone, welcome to this episode. I'm 𝓜𝓲𝓬𝓱𝓮𝓵. I'm a psychic medium who seems to be becoming good at predictions. So I'm also a channel for the archangels and a intuitive mentor. So if you haven't been here before, welcome. This is a soul-led channel, one that I was led to by my guide and the archangels to, well, initially it was to share kind of in the intuitive space, and it's ended up kind of transpiring into whatever it is that my spirit team and angelic team would like to bring through and share. So this is actually Sunday, and normally I would do my recordings on a Monday and release them on a Wednesday. So tomorrow, Monday, is Australia Day, and in Australia, obviously, and a public holiday. So I wasn't at any point considering not doing this recording, but my team was making sure that I did get onto it. And so this morning I went for a bushwalk, ended up being an extremely hot and sweaty bushwalk. And we had patches of quiet during the walk, and then I just started seeing things. So it was like, okay, we're just going to start feeding you information. It's, just to make sure that you get back and record this YouTube. So yeah, even on the drive home, things kept flashing up. So I was just having a laugh, and also having a bit of a laugh to myself, really, about how this kind of transpired, because I'm really one of the last people that should be doing predictions, because I don't really know a lot about what's going on in the world. I keep myself in this little rainbow and, lollipops and unicorns bubble in my life, just because I find that's where I maximize my happiness. And maybe that's what's required. Maybe it's someone who doesn't know politically what's going on everywhere, and therefore there's no opinion or sway, and I can just say what I'm seeing and say what I'm hearing to the best of my ability. Not sure. Anyway, I still find it quite amusing. So excuse any mistakes. I really don't know what I'm talking about a lot of the time. So also I just wanted to extend my heart over to New Zealand and the situation with all the flooding and the landslides. I'd actually been dreading this coming, because I did see that there was going to be bodies involved in this landslide in a way that was probably not going to be compatible with life. And also I saw like buildings involved. I don't know if there's still more coming, but I do feel like what I saw was a combination of what occurred. There was two kind of big events, one in a gorge cutting off a road, and there's lots of helicopter rescues. It'll be a big cleanup, and that gorge kind of leads out into the sea. And then one didn't resemble the slide that I saw, but it had the loss of life in the buildings. And I did also find this with the volcanoes. When I saw the eruptions and was trying to determine information about them, I saw mixed information about both Japan and Java, which made sense for both, and they occurred quite close together. So I always find those observations interesting as well. I guess it's a shame. I feel like there was nothing I could do to change any situation, but maybe just, I'm just following what my guides give me, and maybe just the awareness is enough. Anyway, I'm just going to close my eyes, tune into my guides, and see what needs to be shared. And actually, I'm hearing Australia Day, a time of national unity, so a time to come together, setting aside differences of race and culture. We are one nation united with energetic imprints which affect the other. There needs to be respect for one nation's people and traditions, traditional owners. So this needs to be respected also on this day. I am hearing this. It should also have been considered a national day of mourning. because of atrocities past. So this is a day which has a lot of very mixed messages for different components, and all need to be, well, I'm hearing remedied by acknowledgement. So there needs to be acknowledgement on this day that this is also a day of grief and remorse for certain peoples in this land, not just a day of celebration for our nation and being Australian. So that's a beautiful message. I'm also hearing consideration on moving the date out of consideration for all. There are other dates that would also suffice to be cause for celebration amongst all. This would lead towards healing, where healing is required. There is generational trauma experienced from past atrocities towards Aboriginal peoples, the traditional owners of this land. Okay. On that note, this is also a day of celebration, of barbecues, of jandals, of hot weather, which it certainly is absolute scorcher today, and sunburn, of hats and flies, of beaches, and of goodwill, of many nations coming together, of providing a safe harbour for many nationalities sharing this land. May we come together during this time and celebrate all that is good and offer. And it's like, g'day, mate, barbecue. I'm really feeling that. The things that are shared by all. So I'm seeing the Australian flag waved on one side, and on the other side, I'm seeing Aboriginal flag. So day of celebration, and also for one nations to be acknowledged. I love that. I'm actually seeing some traditional owners on my left-hand shoulder, silently standing there, just silent, as they think this is, as they seem to do, just very stable in their own right, very ancient, wise community. They knew how to live with the land. They have much to teach us, ways of old. So look to the folklore around traditional medicines, around managing of bushfires, around land management, and working in synchronicity with the land, and not taking and pillaging and plundering. The hunting practices as well, so sustainable hunting practices. There's a lot to be learned and a lot to be gained from this nation, not to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We need to come together, and I feel like energetically tap in through those who have handed down traditions. There are people who will be learning from their elders in spirit, and some ways of old will again be surfacing and be apparent in some practices that will be put forward for upcoming weather events. I'm seeing bushfires, heat upon Australian soil. This would be very useful in land management practices. Okay. I'm hearing Skippy, like Skippy. Oh, green, goodness. Skippy the kangaroo. I feel there is much to be benefited from use of kangaroo meat in different dishes. There is also a way forward with this kind of meat. It's very lean. It just needs to be prepared in a certain way. I'm seeing like thin strips, maybe even marinated. This is a readily available meet, and one we should be looking to more and utilising. Also culling of crocodiles and crocodile meat. So some of these delicacies can also be brought back to our plate from kind of, I guess, wild animal practice. Possums. Possums in Australia need to be protected. They are also at risk. They're, I'm just seeing their beautiful little faces. A little bit different from New Zealand. This is their native lands. I feel the heat and the fires are also affecting the possum population, mostly the heat. They may actually become endangered, which, coming from New Zealand, I find that really hard to believe, but populations are going to be dwindling. So take care of the Australian possum population. I'm hearing this is important in times going forward. Swimming pools and water safety. I'm just seeing a large swimming pool, lots of people in the pool. It's quite chaotic because it's hot. Okay, be really aware of children. I feel that because a lot of people are going to the pools, and I'm seeing things like blow up toys in the pool, like a flamingo, and it's a little bit of chaos. Really important to keep an eye on your children. I feel it's easy in a very busy situation to actually, for a child's life to be lost, where they've gone under or they are overlooked in the mayhem and the busyness in the pool, and it's not noted that they're actually not able to come back to the surface. Again, I don't know why. Oh, I'm seeing green again. I always see a little boy with bare stomach, and I can just see him kind of going under the water and it just not being noted by those around. So keep a really close eye on toddlers and little ones in the pool. Also, waterways. So water levels are going to be decreased. So there's going to be a lot more going to water holes, but the danger of jumping into the waterways, there's increased risk, and I'm seeing a rock. And this is because the waterways are going to be running shallower than normal. So again, I know we do that a lot, go to different places, and it's all fun jumping off the ledges, but there's a big caution around that. Again, the boys, I don't know if this is necessarily going to be boys. I'm seeing teenagers having fun, egging each other on. I'm seeing a girl with long brown hair. I feel there could be a mishap. Maybe she lands, it could be to do with her leg, but tragic. I'm hearing tragic accident. So water safety, being really careful. Also, I'm seeing murky waters out to sea off coastal regions when there's been heavy flooding or dirty rivers flowing into the water. Stay clear of this water. There's potential, I know there's actually already been some mishaps there with sharks. There's been quite a few shark attacks from flooding. So again, and I'm seeing literally coming up from below, not being able to see properly, legs kicking. There's potential for more. Staying out of the water until the water is clear. So don't go swimming in any, I'm seeing ocean water that has been, it's like the dirty water from the river flooding, coming into it, and it's just not clear. Also, just because what I'm seeing is that out in the shallows, I'm seeing when the water's clear, it's like you can see a shark really clearly, and there's like it offers them turquoise water, sandy bottom, they can be seen. So just watching out for that. Again, back to Fraser Island, but a risk on I'm seeing it being the ocean side of the island with swimming. Again, I feel could be shark activity, staying out of that water. On that note, so the dingo activity, apparently, I know, oh gosh, I don't know, so green. My heart also goes out to the backpacker who was found surrounded by dingoes on Fraser last week. Unsure whether she was swimming and drowned or she was getting away from the dingo pack and drowned, but she had there was activity in that the dingoes were surrounding her and I guess interfering with her body or carcass. This was actually in the area that we saw this pack of 9, so it's probably the same pack. So the campground was actually cleared out for a period of time. This is coming from me, not from. This is not somewhere I would take children free camping. When we were there, we thought the whole time, wouldn't this be awful having little children and trying to keep an eye on them? It's really free camping outside of fenced areas wouldn't be something that I would do with children. That's just me, not Spirit. Okay, back to Spirit. I'm getting the feeling that she was forced into the waters, so I'm seeing surrounded by dingoes. There, she was in fear, and they were encroaching upon the waters. So this is just what I'm seeing, and I'm seeing like a semicircle. So whether it was a semicircle or whether it was just that she felt like she needed to move into deeper water, but she was by herself, unfortunately, and it was a terrible, tragic accident. I'm hearing could have been avoided, safety in numbers and dingo awareness. Okay, just seeing if there's anything else. Again, I'm just getting a sense that shark activity and to stay out of these waters as well. There's plenty of creeks and waterholes on Fraser Island, very popular place to go and beautiful place, but it has a few dangers. 𝓜𝓮𝓭𝓲. So I still feel like we're in danger of 𝓜𝓮𝓭𝓲. I'm still seeing a helicopter. I know nothing's happened there yet, but I'm getting on the Australian land side of the island, Hervey Bay kind of side, shallow waters, very warm waters. Okay, I've seen that one before, and I thought, oh, good, that hasn't happened. So maybe we'll get through the summer, but I feel this is still upcoming stormwater. Something around stormwater, the power of stormwater and gutterings having the power to pull in unexpected prey, little animals, children and waterways. So staying out of stormwater or staying out of flooded waters where there's kind of storm water, which is fairly common. Again, potential disaster, and again, waters having unexpected danger, such as trees, big boughs, fast moving currents, which sometimes have unexpected downflow. So, and again, I'm just seeing groups of boys having fun in the water, jumping in off a rope swing into kind of water levels are up, it's flooded. There are eddies and streams and some unknown, maybe currents again, danger around water. I just think temperatures at the moment in Australia are crazy. It's like today, it's not too bad in here, it's like 34 degrees, but we're going into the 40s further south. So we're having a lot of mixed weather. So there's just dangers with that. I'm also seeing fires sparking up. They don't look as widespread. More there's just different areas, I feel, down south, New South Wales, lower New South Wales, maybe some WA and kind of upper Victoria. Just there's isolated fires, and I don't feel at this point nothing catastrophic and that I can see. Just, yeah, I can see a large fire. Some of them will burn themselves out. Okay, I'm seeing one large fire. But I feel that we are more bush areas. There's more isolated areas. That's just what I'm seeing at this time, at this moment. I feel maybe we're not having the same high winds fueling the fires as we have had previously. Okay, so maybe it's a little bit more moderate. Okay, where are we going now? Okay, Jordan. So this is actually what I saw. I knew it would come up in the episode while I was driving in the car. So I saw Middle Eastern type fellow with a beard and dark sunglasses, white robe, red, checkered white and red headpiece, and with a semi-automatic rifle and all of the bullets kind of strung over. So military unrest and activity, and I take it from the headdress that this is Jordan. So this is uprising of factions against the military. I feel we have AK or Kashkinov, whatever they're called, semi-automatic rifles, whether this is may have come in being flown in. I see shipment armament shipments of these rifles being delivered to factions. This is anti-government protests against pending military enrollment. What's that word called? Compulsory military attendance for Jordanian men and other strong measures against some of Jordan's peoples, and this is an uprising. So we're starting to see some political unrest. So I see a group of like snipers, and they are targeting a military helicopter. So there's some unrest starting there. I'm hearing the Nile, which is obviously Egypt. Drought. I mean, it's very dry there in any case. So I feel the Nile levels are going to reduce. We have moss areas. I don't know if there is a drought situation or low. I mean, it's desert material, right? I'm hearing unprecedented. So we have lower water levels will be seen and experienced. I'm hearing catastrophic low levels of water in some of these regions associated with the Nile. This is going to create a call for solutions that are required. Actually, I had a look at the piece that I brought up, was it last week before, about the Sahara Desert. That's a really interesting project. If any of you want to have a look at that, it is actually a project which has been begun, and there's plans to extend it. So it's really saved a lot of land, and like it's quite, I can see why it's an environmental disaster. The Sahara creeping along, it can move up to like 6 kilometers a year, just the sand taking up arable land, and the job loss is massive, and loss of fertile land. So it's quite, I found it an interesting read. I only actually read about that this morning while I was in the car going to the bushwalk, just out of interest. So sometimes I don't have time to have a look at some of these things, but I thought that was quite an interesting read. If anyone else is kind of interested in some of the things that come up, sometimes it's interesting to follow them up, especially the solutions. So this is not all doom and gloom. Yes, I have had a couple of comments around, finding the political things a little bit heavy, or finding the channeling heavy. You can take the good parts of that. For example, in the channeling, the part that I took was, well, this needn't really concern you. Well, you needn't be so concerned. So, okay, well, that's the bit I took. These things might happen. Here's the awarenesses. Here's what it means. There's going to be solutions needed. It's a trying time, and you're going to be part of the solution. As you can see, a lot of solutions do come through, or things that are happening. There's been my favourite one was the cancer, breakthroughs with cancer, and other solutions for like the reef and things like that. So, take the good things, and things that you can't digest don't need to trouble you. But there are people from different nations that may be watching this, so it might be important for them. So I just trust that whatever spirit wants to bring through is necessary awareness. So I just follow along with that. So just, if Jordan doesn't need to trouble you, then, just doesn't need to, you don't need to pay any attention to that or get worried about that, for example. Anyway, that's how I handle this. In fact, to be honest, I don't give a lot of my channeling thought, except when something really stands out, like the mudslides. I feel like the landslides, I've seen them so many times. I've been waiting for those, like dreading them. Also the pilot whales, like dreading that. And, just, I guess there's a couple of things that stand out for me, but I don't hang on to all of this. On that note, Keir Starmer is what I'm hearing, British Prime Minister. We have in-house political unrest. So I feel we have many standing against him, and by April, this is within the House, whatever you call it, he's going to be politically isolated. So in April, we're either going to have a change, or we're in trouble, and we have, like, I'm hearing re-election. So I feel that he's making some unpopular decisions internally, and so we have a little bit of shuffle around of kind of allegiances within the cabinet. There are maybe stands that he's made, or I can't tell exactly, but it unintentionally has created a little bit of a poverty situation, or has the potential for that. And it was unintentional, just there is a stand against him and some of his measures which are not considered sustainable for the people or to be in anybody's best interest. I actually feel this is a good thing. This is a good thing. While we're on Britain, England, King Charles. So I feel next month there's gosh, I'm hearing demise, but I'm sure not next month. Okay, we're not well. I'm seeing we are regressing. I don't follow the royal family, so I don't know whether he's been King Charles has been out and about or seen publicly, but I feel he's ailing and that he's going to go downhill. I just heard demise and was getting February, and I did get that March we were going to have a new change of monarchy and we had King William. So I feel maybe this trajectory is starting now, but really next month. I mean, we nearly are in February. It's going to be a trying time for the monarchy. There's going to be a lot of change and a reshuffle. There's also going to be brothers back together, tensions, factions. This may involve Meghan and Kate as well, kind of coming together for, must be like a state funeral or crowning of a new king, and just tensions. I see the tension in Kate's face. There's a lot of water under the bridge and been a lot of hurt. We have maybe political allies just maybe politicized our position. Also just unexpectedly short rain and Camilla, I'm seeing Camilla really uncertain about her position. I'm hearing untenable. She may, I don't know all their properties, but I feel like she's going to kind of remove herself and remain in a property kind of outside of the central sphere. So she's doesn't look like she's going to be heavily imbued in I guess royal political life. She's going to take a backward step and because of events which have transpired. Okay. This would be in the best interest for all. There's been, I guess, hardship, and that involves her. This is what I'm detecting or picking up. I see it as like a retreat. A retreat to is like I don't know, the homes, like country home. Still looks quite palatial, not a palace, but very mannerly. And I feel we're retreating to the country. We have a beautiful life with our dogs, and we're just stepping back. We're going to be seen a lot less in the public eye. So I feel we are losing core members of the public. So also seeing Andrew and Fergie removed and isolated. I feel Camilla also removed and isolated through her intention and just an untenable situation from water under the bridge. We have Harry and Meghan in America, so I feel we're on the skinny here, and there's a lot of pressure on the kind of the small core monarchy group that's left. This is creating a situation in which I think I'm feeling like Harry's looking at it, and I just feel Harry and William can see that Harry can see that the royal family would benefit from his support in this situation. So he's seeing things in a light that's kind of how can I assist rather than through his own lens. I feel like he's seeing things fairly clearly now. He has matured in his relationship, and life on the other side of the fence hasn't been everything he thought it would be. I kind of feel like it's not kind of working out the way that he thought that it might in his dreams, and there's an awareness of what he's left behind. I feel we have a lot of remorse, and this is going to show he is going to say a speech at his father's funeral, and it will be heartfelt, and there will be hearts going towards him. Okay, so that's something that's coming up. Wow, to kind of, even though I saw that, I didn't expect that so soon. What else? Okay, I'm actually seeing Mount Maunganui. I'm seeing the slide, the tragedy. Mm, I'm just seeing, what about this? I feel we may have lost maybe 3 children, one girl. This has been a tragic loss of life. For some reason, I feel like it could have been that the awarenesses made here might change some things that somehow I'm feeling like it was avoidable, but I can't see how. It was maybe the foot traffic in the lower hills, or I can't see how that would cause that. I feel it comes back to replantation. So awarenesses again of hills that are hillsides and their instability, and this being because of grazing, because of clearing that's been made available for pasteurisation and sheep, unstabilising New Zealand's hillsides. There's still more torrential rain to come. The weak areas will be apparent. This is a national disaster. I feel there'll be more landslides to come. There's going to be programs put in place to assist with this. This is creating a clear path for what needs to be done and where the issues lie. There were warnings about this that have been previously given, projected, but maybe not taken too seriously, something along those lines. This is going to see the replantation of a lot of native vegetation, beautifying New Zealand, and I see birds. It's going to repopulate bird life. Tuis and fantails also losing habitat. So this is going to be a large program. I feel maybe even farmers are involved, areas of stabilisation of land and planting, but it feels like very native, specific native vegetation for the land. I'm hearing nationwide program. It's just, I hear the word beautifying, so it may be done so that areas or regions, or it's going to be done quite cleverly so that there may be a loss of pasture land, but not the entire surface, like where it's strategic. Returning things a little bit, starting those little steps back to the way things were, but I feel we have to change our farming practices. So there are going to be a lot of changes. It's necessary changes. Okay. I am seeing once again, I did see this before, like a boat on its side, and it's come astray up at, is it 90 Mile Beach? Somewhere on the North Island, maybe on the East Coast. I don't want to be too specific. And there's a quite a large ship on its side, so that also is coming. Storms. I'm seeing some very large storms out to sea. Massive electrical storms, lightning going down to the sea. So maybe there's going to be some amazing displays of storms out to sea, like really amazing footage. Okay, I'm seeing the stars. Southern Cross. Yeah, I just feel like all who lie under the Southern Cross and these seas and oceans generally are um, peaceful nations and protected. So keep up this, it's almost like an air of protection. There's a lot of people that just are wanting peace in their life in that sit under these southern skies. And so generally this is exactly what they get. It's blanketed and protected spiritually, energetically, because this is the will of the people. So keep up this beautiful non-warring, non-faction behavior. This is because of the peoples that sit under these skies. So it's like the power of prayer. If this is what the energy and what you're projecting, then this is also what you're receiving and what you'll experience. So the continued peaceful behavior, peaceful practice, sharing, energies, caring for the land, caring for all, is holding you under protection in the southern skies, which is just absolutely beautiful. So largely protected from warfare, from travesty. There is some environmental issues which are being addressed. There will be solutions, change will occur, same as for the rest of the world. But the way it's handled, the way it's managed, the way people's come together is what makes the difference. A little bit like what was said in that channeling, I guess. I'm seeing Trump again. I feel we're getting ourselves into hot water. We are creating division with China, with Russian. We are saying we're triggering issues. So I'm seeing that as opposed to kind of the southern nation and the way it operates, this kind of, I can't think for 5 seconds that it would be acceptable to have a leader like that in our nations. This leadership is one creating factions and will ultimately lead to, I'm hearing, war. So it's important to keep these a sense of peace, a sense of well-being, emanating this out into the world, I guess, to maintain this protection as other nations start rising up, start factions, start division, start a lot of it is ego-driven behavior. So remaining humble, not being driven by your emotions. The wanting to capture and control being a downfall, the continuous quest for more rather than peaceful solutions, and looking to one's nation and what can be improved and assisted, rather looking to what can be taken, what can be plundered. So again, I'm seeing homeless situation in America, being one that requires a lot of assistance, and yet there's a look to a lot of kind of international political situations when there needs to be support and measures made internally for the peoples of the land. So it's like the focus is in the wrong place. So there you go. Shetland Islands. I'm getting something about weather stations on the Shetland Islands. So this is Scotland, is it? I think it's Scotland. I'm not 100% sure. When they have record winds or there's some kind of, I don't think it's snow, rainfall or wind gust, maybe wind gust. Also, wave action. There's something that's like a buoy that measures wave heights, increase in rogue wave heights, something along those lines. Also, I'm seeing maybe this is Antarctica, breaking away of a very large ice fall or ice field, causing alarm. This is also demonstrating the rate of, I guess, melting of the Antarctic shelf. Some of the ice, this time I'm seeing penguins, black and white. There's concern for the future of some of the wildlife in this area that actually rely upon the ice shelves. And I'm seeing penguins and not puffins like in Greenland. Actually, has anyone looked at those puffins? They're pretty beautiful. They've got amazing beaks, very unusual looking birds. And now I'm seeing Greenland. Okay, I'm hearing protection order. I feel there's either going to be a call or there will be a protection order placed on Greenland. So there will be environmental kind of disaster avoided there. So if anyone gets an opportunity to have a say in that, I am seeing or hearing from my team that that's something that's quite important. It does have untapped resources, and I feel very strongly there's an oil reserve there, which the drilling and taking of the resource would be a natural disaster, national natural disaster or disaster for the region, environmental disaster, whichever. Gorillas. So I'm seeing a mother with a baby, unprecedented hot weather in Africa as well, and I'm seeing her kind of trying to get into the shade, and I have the indication just dehydration, heat, kind of panting, impacting their population. There may be drying up of the mother's milk, loss of the baby gorilla. There's also some concern around that going forward as well, and some record temperatures seen in northern Africa, more kind of desert regions, but I'm seeing we're spiking, and temperatures are spiking to levels maybe not seen before. Now I'm seeing the night sky and I'm hearing Nazareth. Isn't Nazareth the birthplace of Jesus? This is a time of the birth of something new. So again, just moving with these times. So I know that came up in the channeling as well. just as the stars herald the coming of Jesus, the stars also herald the birth of new earth. This doesn't occur without some turmoil and some tribulation, but it is there written in the stars, it is foretold, and also the foretelling tells of something better and new, like shiny and new is what I'm seeing. And hold on to this hope and know that that is where you're headed. And that is all. So that is all. Beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. A little bit of a mix in there today. It certainly was a little bit different to last week, which was just the channeling. So yeah, channeling's a little bit different. It comes out in a very, I always feel it's like tapping into something a little bit ancient, and sometimes the words that come out might be like Constantinople instead of Turkey or something like that. So it even feels like it's got old-fashioned terms sometimes. But I always find it very interesting. And when I listen to it, if I take on what's being said, I find it very useful. So I do hope that in all its kind of strangeness, and it's, you know, it's straight from the angelics and very useful information. So I certainly didn't mind it. I just wasn't really expecting it. So that's what I've got to share today. And I've got one shout out. So I have everybody's absolutely beautiful with their comments, by the way. If I just thank you for all the love hearts that I get. Honestly, I just appreciate this channel so much. And on something like this, it's very easy to kind of throw in a lot of hate and you know, this is just rubbish. And I really don't get much of that on this channel at all. In fact, maybe one comment on my last one, which is pretty good. And so I have this one soul that just keeps standing out to me. Pure Legend, I think it might be Pure Legend New Zealand. So I couldn't help but click on he comments every week, so thank you. And calls me my friend. And I feel like, yes, my friend, I feel thank you for your beautiful comments. And so I had a look at his profile. So have a look in the comments, click on his profile. He's got a video in there, which is a little bit like 24-hour alone. I found it really fun and really interesting. So I encourage you to go and have a look. It's got some beautiful footage of New Zealand, and I would encourage him to do more because I really enjoyed it. So just a little shout out for one of my viewers. So on that note, I will see you next time.